Y'all be like, oh, I want Section 8 so I can spend my money how I want to. Baby, I got Section 8 and I can't spend my money how I want to. Like, I paid the majority part of my fucking rent due to my motherfucking job and the type of income they think I have. Like, they literally wanted, when it was time for me to do my recertification, they literally wanted 3 to 6 months of bank statements. And they was on the verge of kicking me off. They literally told me, oh, go find something that's over 1,300 for you to stay on Section 8. And that's why I'm in the fucking two-bedroom. Like, they only give you a voucher where they're only going to pay for your rent and your bills, utility bills. Not no Wi-Fi, not no phone bill, none of that shit. Utility bill and your rent. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want. Have a Section 8. Like, some apartments require you to have an income on top of your fucking Section 8 voucher. Like, we don't live our fucking best life. We struggle just like y'all. Literally, it's not sweet. It's not biscuits and gravy, love. So when y'all get on here like, oh, I want Section 8 like you bitches so I can spend my money how I want to. Go ahead and get on Section 8 and think that you're going to be able to spend your money how you want to. And come back and let me know. Because, baby, I can't spend my money how I want to. I got rent. I got a utility bill. I got fucking a phone bill. I got an internet bill. I got a car note. I got car insurance. You think they paying all of that for me? No, Bookie, they're not. They're not. I'm paying that. They pay the smaller portion of my rent, and that's it. Everything else come out of my pocket. But y'all swear Section 8 just the best thing to have. No, bitch, it's actually stressful because they be too deep off in your business. And y'all swear y'all can do whatever y'all want. Try that shit and come back and let me know.
Hey y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second and it helps me out tremendously. I know it can be easy to forget. I forget all the time, but if you could like the video now, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, getting into what she says real quick before we get into the next clip. Ultimately when she's talking, it just really seems like she's trying to hold two ends of the tightrope, right? On one end, it sounds like she's pretty much ramped up and ready to go to where she can really just be off the benefits. I think she even mentioned that she literally had to change apartments and upgrade to a two-bedroom apartment that she actually didn't need just in order to try to stay within the regulations and the fine print of what Section 8 will allow, because they noticed that she made too much for the apartment that she was in before. So she went to a more expensive apartment so that they would still knock off some of her rate. So basically, she's just trying to be proportional within the numbers and be operating within these numbers and within these rules, which is restricting her. Although she thinks that, oh, I just want to keep these benefits just in case, just so I have it, just so I feel safe. But the whole time, she's making decisions not around her upward trajectory. She's making decisions in order to try to continue to be able to hold on to the benefits instead of just letting them go and go ahead and just take off and start flying. So that's ultimately what I took away from that. And I think a lot of people are living like that, you know, um, and that's what I preach about a lot.
So I came on back to my apartment since I've been reading all the comments and I've been getting a lot of feedback from people who understand eviction processes because I do not know. I know when I stayed in East Point, those apartments was a bigger corporation, so they evicted my ass fast as shit. It was unexpected. Police showed up at my door with a bunch of people to throw my shit out. I had no idea they was coming, and it was very quickly. I didn't even go to court because it was through a whole program. I told you the program ran out of money, and then I ended up getting put out. And they did serve me eviction papers, but I never went to court because they threw me out, because it was a whole program. And then by me being such, I'm not nobody, I just didn't try to fight it because I'm like, shit, I ain't got no money, don't have the time to do the shit, so I just let that shit ride. But it's not on my credit. They didn't put it on my credit because they know it wasn't my fault. For as the program run out of money.
By fight it, she means stall it, right? That's what she means by fight it, because what's there to fight? If you didn't pay your rent, you didn't pay your rent. So she just means, I'm assuming, allegedly, that she means she didn't try to stall things so that she can live for free for longer.
Whatever. But I came back to my apartment because, I was reading the comments. I'm in Fulton County. When they put me out, I was in East Point. East Point and Fulton County, they say East Point is much smaller. So things go quicker. Fulton County, Atlanta is very big. So they saying evictions could be backed up. Now, when I did go to court on the 15th of January, all I was doing was just following what the court paper said. That shit said I had to be out of here by the 29th of January. And they going to send the marshals and police and all the people over here to put my stuff out. That's what the lawyer told me. That's what I read on this piece of paper. They gave me a 7-day pay and stay. They told me from the 15th to the 22nd, if I couldn't pay the $5,000, then I would have to vacate the unit by the 29th. That's what they told me, okay? Now, when I did all that, my neighbor been keeping touch with me, basis telling me that ain't nobody came yet. Ain't nobody still came. Ain't nobody still came. A whole week gonna went by and nobody still ain't came yet. So people telling me go back to my apartment, just go back and just lay there until they come, or you got to get served another paper, because I don't know how this works. You know what I'm saying? I've never been evicted, so I don't know like how the process works when it comes to eviction with different counties, because I don't know how they. I don't know. I'll be trying my best not to get evicted, but I do not know the process. So when they said a 7-day pay and stay, if I couldn't pay by the 22nd, leave by the 29th, nobody ain't came and did nothing yet. And then when I read the comments, that some of y'all are very
I could have swore at the beginning she said she has been evicted before somewhere else.
informative, and I appreciate those who know what the hell they talking about, because I sure don't know. I don't know. I'm letting you know right now, I do not know. I am misinformed when it comes to stuff like that. I'm not informed on that. But I appreciate the person to come and saying that just go back to your apartment, because with this whole situation, the landlord got to go back to court and file another thing, and then they're gonna take a look. Then the marshal gonna come out and serve. I didn't know they did that. If I would have known that, I would have stayed my black ass in this goddamn unit. I would never have left. Now my power is off because I disconnected it from my app. Because I do the prepaid thing because I owe Georgia Power some money because I couldn't pay rent and light. So I had to keep my lights on. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do everything. I didn't have the money for all that. But my power is off in here, okay? I don't have no electricity. And it's going to cost $160 to get this shit turned back on because I'm on a prepaid plan where I pay as I go because I owe money. So it's to help me bring down the balance. But once I get my taxes, I'm just going to go ahead and give Georgia Power the money I owe. Really not a lot. I just need the money to pay it off. But in order to get my lights back on here, I need at least $160 to get 3 days in lights. And so I haven't texted my landlord saying that to him, because I'm, the man is, to me, he give off certain vibes. I don't like to communicate. I just want to pay your money and whatever the case may be, so I won't owe anything. That's the whole point. But it's hard to get rental assistance again.
It's always, I don't like the landlord. They give off certain vibes. I understand what people are ultimately saying when they're just like, I don't like the landlord. Because I did another review video that I need to do part 2 of, where she was like, I don't like the landlord. So I told him, don't even talk to me. I want to only talk to his wife. A lot of times what they're really communicating is basically, if I tell you I can't pay, I'm not paying the rent, and you don't just take my excuse on face value, and you don't just, anything that I tell you, you don't just take it in and just say, oh no problem, queen, it's all good. Then basically you're an a-hole as a landlord. Listen, man. Y'all, and it's always a male landlord. Men are direct. Get used to it. That's how we are. And that's how we communicate. It seems like they want them to like beat around the bush and just whenever you get a chance, whenever you get time, shoot, if you can take until 2028 to pay my rent, no worries. This is getting out of control at this point.
Already, consider my landlord. If I got the money, of course he's gonna be like, well, you could just stay here until March. But I know my lease is up in March of this year. So I don't know. I don't know the landlord, taking his time, or, I just don't want to be caught off guard. That's the thing with my kids in here, because I'm getting a lot of feedback. I'm getting a lot of good information from people telling me to go here, go there, but I don't have no ride to get out there. I ain't got no transportation. Marietta, Georgia, Fairborn, Georgia. I don't have no transportation. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get out to these places very fast or when y'all want me to because I ain't got no way there. So I just came back to the apartment. People just said, just go ahead and squat. But I got to get my lights on here so I could cook and all that shit and just be in here. That way I ain't got to spend no extra money on nobody else that's, helping me out, spend any extra money. I'm not inconsiderate like that. You know what I'm saying? I have common courtesy. I think about others. I don't want nobody spending unnecessary money they don't need to. And I told people I will pay back. I'm not the type of people where, I'm going to pay you back my tax card but don't pay back. No, anybody who knows me personally, no, I don't like to owe nobody nothing. I barely ask anybody for any help any goddamn way. But I will take advice or whatever. But I came back. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get this 160 so I can get these lights on for like 3 days because I'm pretty sure it's almost a weekend. They don't do evictions on weekends. Tomorrow is Friday. So tomorrow is Friday. I know they probably not gonna come tomorrow either. And I know the weekend I'm gonna be good. So I'm just trying to stay up in here. That way I ain't gotta go live with, nobody. Because I do have a friend that's helping me out. And it's a dude. So you know how this shit go. He got my cats and a lot of my stuff at his house. But that's why I was in that hotel room for 7 days. I wasn't trying to stay there with this man. You know how niggas do. You got a female there, they gonna try it. I'm not with that. I'm not comfortable. God damn it. I'm on my female monthly, so you cannot touch me. I'm sorry. But thank you for helping me out and keep my stuff there for a short time. And my cats, because he got cats too, so he just let me bring my cats there, just so they can have somewhere to go and I ain't got to worry about traveling with them and like that. But yeah, I gotta go somewhere. I cannot live under no man, bro. I can't do it. I gotta have my own shit. I'm sorry. Shout out to the men out there who not like that, but thank you. But yeah, I gotta figure this out. I gotta try to get my lights back on at least for a short time while I'm in this apartment because ain't nobody said nothing about throwing me out yet. And I appreciate the people in the comments for letting me know that I can come back to the apartment. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate y'all because I did not know that. Thank God for y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. I really do. Thank you so much for people that's helping me and giving me advice and being positive.
Okay. I had another way I wanted to take this, but then she gave us gold at the end. I want to address that, like the sentiment of I can't live with no man and all this type of stuff. Let's be honest, why? In my opinion, at least. Clearly, she doesn't like structure. She doesn't like order. Because I know that I did hear her say at the beginning that she got evicted from another place because she was going through how that process went and how now she was relating it to what's going on now. So what this tells me is you have a track record for chaos, disorganization, and ultimately not handling your affairs. You have a track record of this. You've been here before. You've done it again. Now you're delinquent $5,000 on a balance, but you claim you don't like to owe nobody. If you don't like to owe nobody, how are you behind $5,000? And you've been here before. So she just wants to be left to her own devices, to just be out here, be running amok. And I feel like you just being out here running amok on society like this, it doesn't just affect you. Hey, if you wanted to be in your own little bubble and be out here just, living destitute, cool. But you're owing people along the way. Because I don't think you show up to negotiations and to interactions when you need to live in a place and say, hey, just so it's a good chance based off my history that there will be a period where things are going to go left and I'm not going to pay you what I owe you. And I'm just going to let it keep adding up until you do something about it. And the only thing you'll be able to do about it is evict me. So that's the main thing. I don't like the fact you have a track record of this and then you left like the paper said. But then because people came in your comments and said, oh, you don't technically have to do that. It's the right thing to do. You should do it because what she was speaking about, basically the first order was, hey, if you don't pay the money by this date, then you need to be out by this date. But Sadly, the way that the rules are and the laws are, the landlord can't just kick her out once that paper says he can kick her out. He has to go back to court again in order to get the writ of eviction. And then that's when they'll actually come and just remove her, because she was supposed to be removed already by that date that the judge put down on the paper. That's ultimately what's going on and what she's trying to stay within the confines of. Possibly the landlord is just busy, so he hasn't gotten around to it. But you know what the paper's saying. You know what you're supposed to do, and you know that you didn't pay that money like you're supposed to, right? You should have been gone if you owe $5,000. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you all could like the video, again, I would greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually does help out tremendously. Also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it actually helps smaller content creators like myself. And the more that you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you press the hype button just like you press the like button. Sometimes it only shows up on mobile, and sometimes it just doesn't show up at all. But once you press it, it'll show you my points, and it'll start pushing me in the algorithm. And if you can't find it, again, a like works just fine. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.